Hey, what's good? I'm Isaac Lee, and I can't wait to get into this movie, One Night in Miami. This is the rundown. Alright, let's get into the movie One Night in Miami, which I definitely want to make sure to give props to Regina King. This isn't her directorial debut, which I was going to make the mistake of saying that until I looked at her IMDb. But yeah, she did her thing in that, and I'll talk about that later. But this movie, how it focuses on Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Sam Cooke, Jim Brown. It's loosely based on a book from what I've heard, but the whole movie, it takes place in this hotel room. It takes place, what was it, 1963, 1964, right after a Muhammad Ali fight, and they come back to this hotel room, and Malcolm X is just talking about how, okay, let's use this time to reflect. And the whole conversation in that room, because the majority of the movies in this room, it is talking about how black people, specifically black famous people, should be using their influence to speak on things that are more important. Malcolm X, he has his political platform with the Nation of Islam, Muhammad Ali being this famous boxer, Jim Brown being a famous football player, Sam Cooke, a famous singer. And out of the four, it's Malcolm X that you hear, I don't want to say singling out, but he's saying that out of the four, Sam Cooke may have the loudest voice. Because when you look at music and how it moves people and how just the power of influence that music has, he makes a reference to the first time he actually saw Sam Cooke perform. And this wasn't one of Sam Cooke's best moments, but at the same time, it was definitely a defining moment. He's at this particular place where he's ready to go on after this other sailor just went off, and they have their own little rivalry that they don't really get into. It's not important. He's all ready to sing, and then all of a sudden the audio and the mic cuts out, and then he looks over off stage and he finds out that the guy pulled the cable on his mic. Even his own band, they're saying we're not your bodyguards, and they just leave. So he's just left standing there, whole crowd booing him. And then all of a sudden he just decides that instead of just running off stage and just saying forget this, he decides to do a song as a cappella. I forgot what the name of the song was, but he starts stomping his feet and having a clap and having the whole crowd doing this chant, and he starts singing this song a cappella. And what Malcolm X took from that was the fact that in that moment, the way he was able to galvanize a large group of people was something so simple as a foot stomp and a clap, and he just had everyone's ear. And it comes off as him being very hard on them, because you realize that at this particular time, he's ruffled some feathers, as far as in the nation and even with the government. From time to time, he knows people are not really looking out for him, but they're looking out to get him. And you see him, getting his affairs in order and making sure that, he can tell his own story when it's time. And they all face their own injustices. Like when the movie first opens, you see, Muhammad Ali getting too cocky and he gets knocked out in the ring. And then you see Jim Brown meeting some white guy that he was fond of until he showed his true colors. I'm not going to get into spoilers, but I knew it was going to turn left when he saw what the house looked like. Come on, this is an old plantation. We know this is going to go left. With Sam Cooke, he was performing another place that also wasn't his best moment. I mean, just everything that can go wrong. It's just the fact you have these four iconic characters coming together for this conversation of what it means to be black, what it means to be famous, and the responsibility you have to use your influence for something greater than yourself. I just really love the way it was done. I love the dialogue. I love the cinematography. And this is where I'm going to get into Miss Regina King. Put some respect on her name. She really did her thing with this movie. And like I was saying earlier, this isn't her directorial debut. She's done other little things. She's done episodes for Shameless, Insecure, This Is Us. She's done some other TV movies, but this particular movie right here, what she's done with this, I'm definitely interested to see what else she does. I mean, she's really shown herself to be a force even before this movie coming out, with us seeing her in what was that, Watchmen. She also did the voices for Huey and Riley and the Boondocks. She has really stepped her game up. I'm excited to see what she does next. But as for this movie, One Night in Miami, I loved it. I would definitely watch this again. This is definitely another one of those movies that, at least for educational purposes, if nothing else, I feel like the younger generation could really get something out of this. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? And if you like what I had to offer, hit that like and subscribe button at the bottom. I'm Isaac Lee. This is The Rundown.